Hello, friends. Welcome home to Eden. So, my name is Eve Christoph. My pen name is Soeva Sophia, and I'm a dreammancer. That means that I am a trans surfing divine feminist mystic with information for you from the other side, encouraging you to get that message, those messages coming to you directly more often. But since you may not know how to do that, I'm going to give you a little download from the last half a year with men. So this is a Love Life with Eve segment. This is about the love life realm. One of the things I do when I am in that whole world of the dating apps, I'm still looking for my divine soulmate, and it's really tricky because you meet really nice people who seem just fine. And then if you go down this long, the long miserable trail of texting where everything's projection and nothing's real and there's no chemistry, you can waste months on end, right? And even if you finally meet the people, you can be in a situation where you don't quite know what's going on, or you need more information. And a lot of men these days don't want to put in the time to really ask, to really be questioned, to really relate. So relationship is about relating for the feminine. For men, a lot of times lately I'm just finding they're valuing money and their career and sex, but they're not valuing relationship, courtship, and romance. So what I'll do is I'll ask the universe, send me a dream on this guy so I can get his true profile. I can get the download of who I am to him and what our potential is, right? So in the last year, the dreams I've had, one dream was a man hands me a dead head on a platter of a toxic masculine patriarch. And I'm like, oh my God, this dream is so disgusting that the head was full of dense hate. And I was like, but he seems like a nice guy. How could this dream, So but the next day when I talked to him, he's just full of bile, hatred towards, people of color, hatred towards, democracy, hatred towards socialism, which is giving us our health care and our social security and our food stamps and care for our world and the environment. Like it was so toxic. So I was like, okay, dream received, done. So then I move on to the next guy. This dream is a combination animal, and it's like his head is one animal and the man's body is another animal, and it's all fine. But I'm thinking there's not a resonation with me and those animals. We're somehow off. But I don't think it's the man. I'm thinking I'm just having a power animal mismatch in my dream realm. But when I tell the dream to the gentleman who I was going on the date with, he's like, oh, those are my power animals. That's my spirit name. Are those two animals? And I'm like, oh, wow. So I've already been shown there's a mismatch, which it turned out there was. Okay, so next guy. This is fun, right? You can do this. You can put your question to the dream world. You can say, show me the truth, show me reality, show me what I need to know, show me the potentials here, right? The most recent dream I had was for two lovely gentlemen I was dating to find out who they were. And I was shown this thing where people who are immigrants who come here are often idealize the American way of, like, so they'll come, they'll get a career together, and they'll get a job together, and a house, and or apartment, and a car, and they'll be so proud of themselves. But they don't realize that the American way is to suck a man dry through his working so hard that he has no time left for himself or his body, hardly his body, and definitely not a woman. And so the American way is about capitalism, right? So the bosses or the whole setup is to get the most out of the man as possible, to extract from him, from the American men. And then they come home and they're exhausted and they are angry and they take it out on the women or whoever they're dating or texting. They start doing this toxic, like nasty texting, or assuming things on the woman, or ghosting her, because they're so angry at being used up. The fact that they have nothing left for themselves, for the feminine side of themselves. They're so jealous to have to give that energy to a woman when they're not allowed to give it to themselves, for their dreaming, for their flowing, for their art, for their body, for their, So then what they do is, in the American way, is they throw it out at the women they're dating, especially new women. So online, what happens is, if you're getting really hostile projection from guys, like immediately, they don't even know you and they're doing this to you, it's because they're used up. And on top of that, the illness of the American way for American men is that they value money and career without valuing relationship, right? So they value getting money together and getting their career together, keeping that no matter what, but then they're not valuing, they are valuing sex as long as they can get it for the least energy possible, right? So, and if they do that, they're not going to have love or relationship. They're going to have projection. They're going to have sort of a semblance of dating that turns into a toxic mess really soon, because they don't know each other. And he starts doing that thing where the anger at his job and his situation comes out at her when she's the only one really giving to him. So this dream I have is just like that. It's like these these two men have decided to become, they're African men from different regions of the world who've decided to become white, and they've done an excellent job. And they don't know that it's an illness what they have signed up for. So they've signed up for sex without intimacy, romance, commitment, friendship, or courtship, right? And they're the expectation. Well, this is just the way it's done. You just do it quick, fast, and you just get it, and you get to bang. So, and there are women out there in their masculine side who don't even want love, and they're just like, yeah, I don't want a relationship either. It's too much work. I'll just have some fun. We're not going to actually judge people here. I'm just going through the dreams, okay? So those dreams were very informative. Then, immediately, I have had exactly those, that kind of expectation of intimacy with no work on relationship. So it's not a relationship if you're not relating, and it's not going to become love if you're not willing to get to know somebody. Oh my God, it's such a low bar, isn't it? It's so sad. So then I have this dream. So there's this guy. He looks like Buddha. He does. He's got like bare feet and Buddha beads and a ponytail man bun, and he's doing his qigong all the time. He's so awesome. And I'm like, oh my God, he's spiritual for once. You're right. But the tea kettle, before I'm going to meet him, the tea kettle on my stove starts making a flute sound that goes in the melody of the name of a character in an Indian movie. They have a theme song, and it plays the theme song, which is the name of this man. Okay, so you're not even going to believe it. So, do you believe me? So the name of the character in the movie has a theme song that the kettle plays. He's being announced. I'm like, oh my God, this must be a great soul, right? So cool. But the dream shows me that he is, his soul name is actually Siddhartha. Stop it! No! He is running free all the time. He acts like he's trapped out there. He's about to go on his run. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so the dream says this man's spiritual name is Siddhartha. Well, Siddhartha, we know, Siddhartha, that's Buddha before he becomes the Buddha, abandons his wife, abandons his child, eventually takes home his child, the boy, after denying his mother, and even after he becomes enlightened, he denies his mother and his wife from being great sadhus along with the men. He says, well, fine, you can have your own sect over there, but you can only visit me for an hour a week while everybody else can learn from me every day, and you can never be teachers. So this is the misogyny in Buddhism, right? So I'm thinking, oh no, don't think about the misogyny. He's Buddha. But then the whole thing plays out exactly like that. Like the whole patriarchy comes right through him in terms of abandoning me. He's already abandoned his child. Now he's and his wife right before me. Now he's come back to get his child, because Buddha actually does take in his child, his boy, his son, to his sect, and then actually the child disappears. He's like 18 and nobody hears from him again. Nobody knows where he went. And that's kind of exciting thought, because Buddha went roaming. Buddha's son went roaming. But so the whole thing, the whole setup is shown to me. I should have known the moment I saw his was Siddhartha what I was getting set up for. He abandons the women, Then there's another one. Well, anyway, it goes on and on. Let's just not, you don't have to hear anymore, right? You got the picture. You can ask for your sacred information. Who are they to you? Who are you to them? Oh, here's another one. This one's really funny. Oh my God, this is such an amazing one. Okay, I'm going to write about this one, but so it's a long saga of dreams. But in the end, what happens is I think that I've found my guy, and he thinks he's found me. And except for the fact that and I tell him, we're going to get dreams soon to know what to do and how to proceed. And, and he goes home after, a number of amazing dates, etc. And he has a dream. And the dream, he says, is that the goddess of the earth has shown up. And she says, your kiss together with your shoes off in the forest rumbled through my body. And it created these vibrations through the earth of me. And it was so powerful and beautiful, but I have to let you know, you, sir, are not ready for a relationship like Soiva is. You're just not ready, so you can't do this. And he writes to me, he says, I'm in such shock. I have never had the goddess appear to me. It was so powerful and so just full of awe, and I'm trembling, and I was crying after the dream because I've never seen the goddess before like that in a dream. But this is what happens. If you devote your life to the goddess, she will start to show up in a myriads of ways to protect you and guide you. And a lot of it's going to be through dreams, and even other dreams for you or your dreams for others, right? Now, if he had had the courage to not do all of the relating through texting, which is the most a destructive thing that people are doing to their relationships now, is assuming that it is a relationship or that it is true or real what you're saying or presuming through text, where there's no nuance, no spirit, no heart, no eye contact, no actual full expression of the words even, so they're easy to completely misconstrue, right? If he had not been doing that, if he had had the courage to call me, I would have said to him, go back to the dream. Ask the goddess, if I'm not ready for relationship and I want this woman, what do I need to do to become ready? And that is the question for all of us to ask the divine, because a lot of what we do and don't have is either because we're not fully ready or we don't actually want it. We kind of we think we want it, or we just want something shallow, and you might as well just admit it. I just want to bang and that's it. Go to those, whatever. Sad to me. It's sad to me. Other people, that's the way it is in life. But I just saw this show called The Torch Song, excellently performed, by the way, at the Northampton Center for the Arts. amazing actors. You should see it. It's going on. Uh, I think they're going to perform again. But anyway, it's all about, that show is all about all this gay world, the torture of the heart open man versus the guy who's just in it for all the quickies that the gay scene will allow for. But the heart open feminine man, the man in touch with his full feminine divine, that's a whole person. That's a person who's complete to me. If they have both sides, that's why I think that all of this persecution of the bisexual people and the queer people is happening, is because they represent the higher evolution of human that is actually complete, right? So this complete man feels love in his heart. He's capable of the entire thing, of being sexy, maybe even being in an open relationship, but it's not going to help them. It's only hurtful. And really, he's ready for family, commitment, devotion, fatherhood, home, and so this is the thing. If the guys are out there in the American lie, and they have been hypnotized into believing even that a toxic leader who says he grabs pussy and is proud of it and would kill somebody on the street and get away with it if he wanted to, if they believe, like they just did, that kind of man who hurts women and children is capable of bringing them more money and it's worth it, that's a deal with the devil. And that's why we're seeing the devil running through our beautiful, heaven on earth constitution for democracy. We're seeing that because the deal with the devil is each of our own to figure out when it's come around. So are you, if you're dating guys who have bought into the lie that they can somehow just do their career thing and put you on the back burner, like you're going to be no work, like love takes no time, like there's no reason to really listen to each other and get to know each other, and that's exciting and fascinating and way more intense than just some mamby-pamby little, hi, let's, I like you, it's all good. It's not going to be like that ever. That's not what love is. It's an adventure, way more profound, intense, and nuanced, and multidimensional than some kind of a little fairy tale on TV, on a sitcom or something. So, but the guys are like, I just want the sex, and I want my money, but they're also being used up. Okay, so we talked about that. So look, let's ask for you. Let's just ask for your dreaming. Let's ask, what do they want to say to you, the spirits, through this reading? Okay. This is an interesting card. So recall memory. This is just saying, in you is this psychic ability that has been there all along. And love once was. You once in your life knew the sacred feminine style of love. That's those shells, the style of love that is heart open and sensuous, and it has a lot of freedom in it, and an intelligence from the ancient mother of the ocean. That ancient way of actual love does exist, and you can recall it and remember it. And then when you do, when you start to call this part of yourself forward, let's see what will happen for you. Well, it won't be easy. It's not going to be easy just because your turtle comes in, your ship comes in, your power, you find your home, you find your person. You're still going to need to have your boundaries. You're still going to need to have some self-protection. You're going to still need to use all of your gifts to relate with this person, with love and with kindness and intelligence and wisdom and communication. You're still going to need, it's going to take a lot of work. You have to use all your arms. Just because true love comes doesn't mean it's going to be easy. I'm sorry for that answer. What else can I really say to you about it? Ooh, the snake in the booty. Oh, whoa. Anyway, it's about transformation. So transformation is good, because all you need to know is, like, just because it's hard work does not mean it's not love. All of these men that I've dated have said things like that, like, oh, because if it's love, it's not supposed to be hard. You're supposed to be easy. You're supposed to be agree with me. And that is not true. But we can transform this story so that we understand what real love is, and that it's not toxic. Because we don't want to be like in the situation where we have to armor ourselves from arrows that are cruel. That's not love either at all. And enough of us women have done that, and a good portion of men have dealt with these slings and arrows from women, especially people who are drinking and don't remember what they do. So let's see what else. Yeah, so we have to purify our expectation of the sacred masculine. We cannot go around saying, "Oh, all men are awful, and patriarchy has destroyed the earth, and so I'm going to shut my heart." Yes, patriarchy has destroyed the earth, but that's patriarchy in everyone participating in it, and women too. And we've got to purify it. We've got to be like, the sacred masculine does exist when he's in balance with the sacred feminine. That's when he comes into the world and he's purified. It's when he's separate from the mother, he's separate from his origin, he's separate from his heart, that he becomes toxic. So we have to purify this image in our minds very clearly, so that we start to resonate and remember and call in the vision of that intelligence of the balance, intelligence of the lover man who is not hypnotized by the American illness. He can see through it, and he can find his creative way to take the best from his career and the money that he wants, take the best from it, and still have real love, real family, real soulful time with himself. It's not easy for any of us. We've all got to find that balance. All right, so dreaming. Keep dreaming. I'm going to just start sharing with you these dreams I've been having, because I'm starting to realize I've been studying Jung, Carl Jung, and he talks a lot about empaths. I don't know if you're one of them, but I am, who dream the collective dream for many. And I've been having many dreams that I can see now are epic dreams. And I'm just going to start sharing them with you. I'm going to let myself be this dreammancer that is opening the roads to the mystic realms, where you can receive direct information at any time, night or day, by going on a dream journey with your drum, with your imagination and your dreams as you sleep. Okay, and divination cards. Get yourself a set that works for you. I do not recommend the traditional tarot. I recommend ones that have just a few words and pictures that can be open to interpretation, so that your psychic ability is constantly in play with what you see the card means today. Okay. Much love, darling. If you want your own divination reading that's private, that's all about your life, you can reach to me at evesedenarts@gmail.com, or message me here at Facebook privately, or comment on any of my videos on YouTube. But those, I'm not sure if I will get those messages as well. Much love to you, darling.